I've been here for 23 years and I've watched this guy and I know that he's behind everything. He's best friends with Ray Coles. I can't imagine if you were a Democrat and I was a Republican and you voted something that I would be really upset at, I don't think I'd walk hand in hand with you out of the building that day. It's like he said, it's an old boys network. Bob Singer was together with Ray Coles in the Strand Theater. Bob Singer has since taken his name off the board of directors, but Ray Coles is still the president. I'll give you an example of what the Strand Theater is like. Imagine if I had a building and I said to the township, you know what, I want you to fix up the building and I want you to make me a toy store. Make me a toy store. And then they make me the toy store and then I say, you know what, I'm going to sell the toy store back to the township. The township's going to buy the toy store, but then you're going to give it back to me now and you're going to pay me $3 million and I'm going to make it into a nonprofit and I'm going to run it. And I'm going to keep the money. That's what happened with the Strand Theater, basically. The Strand Theater was refurbished by the township. It was refurbished by the township, and they basically gave it back to this guy who happened to be our mayor at the time. He was the mayor, and he ran the Strand Theater, and he basically did whatever he wanted with the money.
These favors that you refer to are still in effect, meaning even if you get in, there are still some...
Yeah, and I'm hoping that when I get in there, they're all going to stop. And I think that, you know, by the reaction of people to my running and the amount of trash that's been flung around and calling me, you know, one of B'nai Korach. I don't know how do you translate B'nai Korach into English for them? B'nai Korach, one of the sons of. I'm a son of what?
Rebel rouser.
No.
Yeah.
In the Bible, I'm Korach. I'm the man who got swallowed up by a pit.
Bob Singer is all.
When does the contract expire with the State Blue Clause?
The Blue Clause Stadium expires in 10 years from now. But my idea with the Blue Clause was basically to, you know, everyone says, oh, we're part of a contract, we have to do whatever they say that we have to do. My idea is to stop everything and just say, you know, we're not doing anything anymore, let their toilets get stuffed up, let their air conditioners break, let everything go to pot, and then let them sue us. And when they sue us, then we'll take them to court and we'll say, hey, how'd you get such a great deal? $25,000 a year for a $23 million stadium that you yourself are paying $1.3 million in New Hope, Pennsylvania. The same owners that we have owning the Blue Claws are paying in New Hope, Pennsylvania. They have a team called the Iron Pigs. And it would have been cool if they had that team here. Although the Blue Claws, what's worse, a pig or a claw? I'm not sure which is worse, a pig or a claw. But if that team were here, I mean over there they're paying $1.3 million, and you know, I'd like to see them in court explaining how they got such a great deal.
When they close down, do you think which building do you think to get the property?
No, I don't think it should be closed down. I absolutely don't think the Blue Claws should be closed down. I think the Blue Claws could be an asset. I think the Strand Theater could be an asset. I think they all could be assets, but there has to be some cohesiveness. There has to be something that brings them together. There's absolutely nothing in this town that would help those entities. Like somebody, I made the joke to you, I think, that somebody said to me that changing the logo of Lakewood, the logo is right now, it's a horse with a cart behind it. So I said, I have the perfect logo for you, put the cart in front of the horse. Because that's how Lakewood does everything. It's like they build a stadium, and then they say, oh, we were supposed to do shopping, uh-oh, we're out of money, right? The whole point of the stadium was to bring people down to an area where they can buy things, and it just never ended up happening. So, and the same thing with the Strand Theater. The Strand Theater, it would have been a wonderful, beautiful thing had they fixed up the downtown, created shopping, created stores, and then said, hey, let's put in a theater to bring people to these stores. That would have made sense. Instead, they made the Strand Theater so that everyone coming to the Strand Theater runs into the Strand Theater like this because they're so scared, because they look around and they're like, ugh, what is this? The whole downtown is disgusting.
And it ruins Friday afternoon shopping for the merchants.
And Friday afternoon shopping, right, is absolutely, it's a perfect storm of everything. So, you know, that's basically what we want to do. We want to just fix up the town, get in there, make everyone squirm, as I like to say. I want to make everybody who's sitting up there squirm. Next time some guy comes up there and says, you know, whispers behind closed doors that he wants a piece of property, let's present it to everybody and say, well, what good is it going to be for us to give you this property? There are times when you know, people scream, why should we give this one? Why should we do for that one? Why should we do for this? You know, Rabbi Cutler's here, people are going to scream, why should we do for yeshiva? You know, and I know I've been branded as anti-yeshiva, but I laugh at that because I tell people that I'm a big proponent of the yeshiva, not from a, you know, Jew point of view, but from a financial point of view. I look at the yeshiva right now as the one thing that's really thriving in this town. There's no business coming into town right now. The industrial park is dead. retail is not going to recover for another 20 years, right? But when you bring in, when the yeshiva grows, every time the yeshiva grows, the people in yeshiva have to buy they have to get dry cleaning, they have to fix flat tires, they have to buy pizza, they have to buy clothing. It brings business into town. So when the yeshiva says we need something, as long as it's not taking dollars out of our pockets, if we can do anything we can do for them, we have to consider it. And I'm not saying this just because you're here, and that doesn't mean I'm kissing up to you either. But you have to do it just because it makes sense. And I gave the example of in California. I'm always using California examples because I'm not from Ohio, but it makes sense because, like in California, you have UCLA. UCLA has a neighborhood outside of it called Westwood. Westwood's beautiful. They have theaters and they have shops and they have restaurants. And the reason it exists is because of the campus of UCLA. So, I mean, just like BMG, Georgia Core College, these type of things. Right now, they're the only game in town. I will work very, very hard to try to bring businesses into the town. Again, I know I promised that I'm not going to focus on the downtown. But if something does arise where a really good business wants to come into downtown, if B&H Photo calls me and says, look, we want to relocate to Lakewood, I know B&H Photo in Lakewood would be an amazing thing. It would bring jobs. It would bring other businesses could open up around it. It can revitalize the town. So I'm not going to say, okay, we're not dealing with that. Of course we're going to deal with that. I'm not going to only deal with yeshivas and schools.